morning, everybody. My cut and bruise on my forehead has not gotten any better. If you want to know how I got it, you're gonna have to watch my last video that I posted. But I'm sitting in the 8330 tractor, and I'm just fueling it up and warming up a little bit. It was supposed to be like 65 or 70 degrees today, but it's 35 and windy. It's chilly here. As I'm watching those numbers go up and up and up, I'm just thinking about all of the money I'm spending on diesel fuel right now. It just really makes you think, you know what I mean? And it makes me think that when I get those checks from the corn that I hauled in, all that money is already spent. In fact, I'm spending it as we speak. It feels free, I don't have to pay out the pump, but when that bill comes, I like farming. I like farming. I like farming. I like farming. All right, as I drive to the field, I'm gonna have my Ag Leader auto steer monitor start to turn on. Harrow's all hooked up from yesterday, ready to head out to the field. As I drive by here, I wanted to give everybody a little cow update. Oh, look at this little cowy wabby standing up. What a sweetheart. Anyways, they're doing very well. Calving is honestly almost over. It's been a good season. Warm weather, dry, excellent conditions. I arrived out to the field, and I have my auto steer line all set up so when I unfold and approach the row, I can just press this button or this button here, and technology will take over control of the wheels. I won't have to touch the steering wheel, and it'll just take me down the row. I do feel incredibly grateful not only to farm flat farms, but also that I have straight lines. I don't have to have terraces or anything like that. There's no curves. I just feel very lucky to farm the farms that I do. I genuinely enjoy it. It makes things a lot easier. As I unfold it, I'm just gonna have Dad back there greasing it so things work smoothly. We have radios for communication, which makes things a lot easier. We don't have to call each other 90 times a day. And we also have call signs. So I'm 501 and he's 510. 501 to 510. Are you ready?
Not quite yet, but look at my little holder.
The Harrow is a really simple machine. It just uses one hydraulic connection, which is really nice. So I'm just pressing my hydraulic button down just far enough to get all the way out, and then I'll have Dad continue greasing. As he's back there working on that, my tractor is completely idled down and in park, and I just try to keep my hands as far away from the controls as possible so that I don't accidentally run him over. And we are rolling at 10 miles an hour. Auto steer is working nicely. I'm off a few inches with the speed I'm going. If you ever want to know why we don't deep rip our fields, it's because I think with this Nebraska wind, all our dirt would blow away. I'm barely scratching the surface, and I don't know. It's just so windy here. But you can clearly see where I've gone and where I haven't gone. Oh, look at this. Neighbor coming out. I love tractor cab season. This is a really fun season. I just love being in a tractor cab. Man, this mount is just not wanting to work for me today. I guess I'll just have to hold the phone. But essentially, what the Harrow is just an enormous heavy rake, And so we are using the tines on the rake to break up some of the stalk matter and shake the dirt off the root ball and scrape off the top of our ridge, leaving all the matter in the bottom of the ridge to decompose and the top of the ridge flat and ready to be planted into, essentially. All right, I am done with the harrow in this field. I've done everything that I can over here. So I'm hopping out of the 8330 and moving on to my next job. And it'll be in the 8530, which is hooked up to our new root slicer. So I'm going to go root slice a field that was a bean field last year. Gonna turn our flashers on, accelerate, head out to the field with our Orthman root slicer. And because I know there's going to be comments, I'm just going to address this already. Root, roof. I don't know if it's my Nebraskan accent or just the way I speak. I also say, Grant makes fun of me for this, I say both instead of both. I don't know, man. It's my Nebraskan accent, I guess. And we have arrived. This field was plenish soybeans last year, like I said. I'm just going to unfold here with my first hydraulic. Just like that. I'm just going to apologize now for the wind, but we use these big metal rods and put it right through here and then use the finger pincher 9000 to secure them in place. And this makes sure that these wings don't come up at all when I'm going through the field. This right here was the culprit for my forehead. Very painful. I just adore this view out the back window. I love the stark contrast between the soil that we're kind of turning up and the unworked soil. It's, man, I just think that's beautiful. And the big open sky seems to be working pretty well. So because it's tractor cab season, as I mentioned earlier in the video, Dad and I used radios to communicate all day long. It's a phone calls back and forth. And so I get a lot of questions, what kind of radios do you use? And so these are Motorola Radius CP200s. And we just have like a business band, like broadcast station at the farm. And they worked out pretty well for us. We enjoy them. Okay, I know it's windy, but I stopped just in time. Look what I found in the field. Wonder what we lost that off of. Field recoveries. Quick pause because we had a little ball up here, so it looks like there's just some dirt. I don't know. So we're just going to spin on the outside, not get my fingers pinched in there. Try to get this unlodged. Much better. Found this out in the field. Giant piece of cardboard. This is my PSA. Don't litter, because I have to pick it up. Okay, that's all. Thanks. Back to root slicing. Okay, so I have absolutely filled the tractor cab with various bits of trash I've picked up from the field and that nice little treasure of a disc we found. But we've made some serious progress here. We have done 47.7 acres, but we've actually done more than that because I'm realizing I didn't set the right guidance width on the auto steer, and so we've actually done more than that. We just have a few more passes to go, and then this is almost the last root slicing we have for the year. I think we have one more field that we need to do. Actually, two more fields. One of the field needs to put anhydrous on first, and then the other field we need to burn the corn stalks before we do it, but we're getting closer. Certainly made excellent progress on our way to prep for planting 2022. So if you are new to the channel, you know that I'm married to Grant, and he also farms, and sometimes he films parts of his day to show you guys. So here's what Grant's been up to recently.
Morning, everyone. I am in the JLG and I have a big job today. So we're tearing apart this pivot. So this pivot is old and rusted out. It's got holes all over it, so water like leaks out of it when we're using it. So we've got a new to us pivot. It's not brand new, but we bought it used. Anyway, but it didn't come with tires, so I need to take all the tires off this pivot so we can put it on the new one. So I'm moving it into a good spot so I can tear it down. And this will probably be the last time this pivot ever moves, because there's a guy gonna come out and he's got like a big scissors on a skid steer and he's just gonna chop it all up and take it to the junkyard. So it's the last time that one will ever move. I'm okay with it. This pivot is run by a 4-cylinder John Deere engine that runs the well, which is that guy, and then to make the electricity to run the pivot, there's a big generator on it. So that's, the power shaft's not hooked up, so it's not pumping water, but it is making electricity to run the pivot. These pivots run at like 480 volts or higher. Just gonna use the JLG to pick up the base beam just a little bit. Both tires are off the ground, so I can take the tires off. And just like that, tires are off. Got them stacked up. I'll come pick them up later. And I'm gonna come back and take this center drive off, but I forgot a wire cutter. So I'll just snip this off and then it'll fall right off. Now we got many more to do. I've got all the towers stripped, and now I'm stacking the tires at the end of the field.
Thanks, Grant. So we're moving on to another field. This was another bean field this year, but the end rows or turn rows or headlands or whatever you want to call them were corn. And so I'm just going to be root slicing that. Don't really know exactly how I'm going to do it because there's not really much of a row out here. Well, it kind of is. I don't know. And all my trash is still in here. It's kind of starting to bother me. But I'm not just going to put it outside again. So I guess I just have to deal with it. The styrofoam stuff is getting everywhere, which is quite annoying. But we're going to see how this works out. The end rows went well. So now I'm back in a field with Dad putting on some anhydrous. And so as soon as the anhydrous is put on, then we can root slice and then we'll harrow it. So that's over there, is where we did all that. So now we're just doing on this side of the pivot. I cannot count how many times I folded and unfolded these wings today. Would you look at that? Dad and I running side by side. Root slicing is working well. Got my auto straw lined up nice. Everyone wave hi to Dad. I'm going a little bit faster than he is, so I'll pass him. Should be a beautiful sunset tonight. Lovely. So fun to be working 2 operations in the same field. And that is a wrap on today. I am totally caught up to Dad, and he is going to finish it's just a reminder to shut that off. And he's going to finish up anhydrous this field, and then we can come back and finish root slicing. Whew. It's been a big day. I'm excited to stand up, as silly as that sounds. I think I'm going to go on a 5-mile run tonight. Whew. Tractor cab season really is upon us. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, now's your chance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.